Good morning. What a spectacular day. Are we fired up or what? This is a new beginning for East New York, and I'm here to say it is long overdue. This community has been underserved and forgotten for so long, and now we start righting the wrongs of the past. And I am here with some extraordinary individuals, people who have a real vision for this community. And I want to first of all acknowledge Senator Roxanne Persaud for her leadership in driving these projects forward. And also Nikki Lucas is joining us momentarily. She's on her way here. We'll be hearing from her at the end of the program. Also, Ruth Ann Visnauskas, your daughter is here. Your daughter needs to hear how extraordinary her mom is. Because I know how teenage girls can get. She's not quite a teenager. But sometimes you're just not sure your mom is really that cool. Your mom is transforming people's lives all over this state. She is making a profound difference. Let's give a round of applause to our commissioner, Ruth Ann Visnauskas. Lee Braithwaite, the chairman and CEO of Apex. Lee, thank you for believing in our community. And Arlo Chase, the senior vice president of real estate and development. You'll be hearing from them as well. So, you saw what we all saw driving up here. A little bit of dirt, that's all right. You saw some progress. It wasn't that long ago we were here announcing the completion of a project just in October. $425 million project on this site. But this site is a reminder to all of us. It's not the buildings, it's not the dirt, it's not the abandoned facilities that matter. It's the people of Brooklyn and the people who deserve to live in world-class, beautiful, supportive housing. And that is what we're talking about today. So Brooklyn, people say it's the soul of the city. Oh, it has a lot of soul. But it's the people. It's not the place, it's the people. And they deserve so much more. And as Brooklyn rises, it doesn't matter if it's rising in some parts and others. If it doesn't rise everywhere, including East New York, then it doesn't matter at all. We will not stop until every single community knows they matter to me personally as the governor, but matter to the rest of the state. It's part of our destiny. It's part of our future. So we want to make sure that the people who said, Brooklyn is my home, they've come from all over the world. Some of you have lived here a long time, others are new arrivals. They would make this place so fascinating. But we want to make sure that Brooklyn continues to be a place that people can afford to live, to work, to raise a family, and someday retire here. This past year, I put affordable housing front and center of our agenda. My first day of the state, just a little less than a year ago, I said we have to be bold. We have to make up for the past. So we proposed $25 billion in building 100,000 units of affordable housing over the next 5 years. That is the largest investment in affordable housing in our state's history, and I defy any other state to try and meet that one, because that's a big one, right, Ruth Ann? It is huge. Huge is the word. So we've also been talking about, not just in the context of what we did last year, but I've been giving another number of speeches about how we still have so much to catch up. People want to be here, which is great, but we've not kept up with the building to meet the demand. So prices go up, people want to be here, deserve to be here, cannot afford to come here and live in a beautiful home that they deserve. So this is an ambitious goal. We're trying to put forth a plan that people kind of are stunned by, but working with Mayor Adams and our partners in the legislature, because we need to make some changes in our legislature as well as the city council. We want to build over 800,000 new units over the next decade, because I believe that affordable housing, beautiful, safe housing, is a basic human right. And that right needs to be granted to more New Yorkers than we have right now. So here, this state, this place speaks to this. It speaks to this. It's how we can reimagine and build a better, more equitable, more inclusive Brooklyn. As I mentioned, in October, we announced $425 million project. Not a groundbreaking. Groundbreakings are really nice. But the best is when you cut the ribbon and you open it up to people. And the Fountains Project is extraordinary, right adjacent to this site. So that speaks of what we can do. So the naysayers just said, oh, it'll never happen here, nobody cares. Things are already happening. But today, we're announcing the start of a $1.2 billion project known as Alphea that'll bring 2,400 affordable units to the community. That's extraordinary. 2,400 units, all affordable housing to this community. So let's give that a round of applause. And Alphea means something. It means good health, blessing, and peace. And we're going to achieve all three of those objectives because that's what the name commands us to do. This is what this community deserves. And this will be a transformational project that'll have a profound impact on this long-forgotten neighborhood. But not just on, as I'm trying to point out, it's not just on the physical structures, not just the buildings. It'll have a profound impact on the psychology of a community, how they view themselves, how they realize that we believe they matter, they have value, and they deserve more. And all of a sudden, people start saying, yeah, we do matter. This community matters. And this will transform people's lives for years to come. The first phase, $373 million, will create 576 affordable housing units. And it'll be supportive housing as well. You know, time's been tough for people. Life is hard sometimes. Circumstances out of your control. And this pandemic was particularly harsh for people. People weren't able to get their mental health services, and a lot of people self-medicated, turning more to substance abuse, and they kind of spiraled out of control here. These are also God's children, too. They deserve love and care, support, and services. That's what the whole idea behind supportive housing is. Not just give you a home and say, here's the key, you're on your own. But to say, some of you need that extra lift up. You need someone to guide you through the next chapter of your life. That's what we're doing here as well. And we'll continue that commitment to blend not just the housing, but supportive services to lift everyone up. When I speak about the psychology, you cannot imagine what open green space does to the human spirit. That's what this project is going to bring as well. Space for the entire community to enjoy, over 7,000 square feet of retail. And of course, I'm a shopper. I said, what kind of retail are we talking here? And I said it's going to be culturally diverse, all kinds of food and markets, and make the community feel at home, as well as extraordinary healthcare services. That's what people need. They want to go outside this community to get what they need to start building their lives back. And people have the behavioral health or developmental disabilities or intellectual disabilities. This is going to help them as well. So we want to build a community where they can flourish and achieve independence. Because this was once the Brooklyn Developmental Center. We know the path that went. But that still is a reminder that people came to the site to heal. Some of our new guests, our new residents, are going to be in that category. We're going to help them heal. That's what we do. We're New Yorkers. We take care of other people. So this will build on the legacy of the center's work, impactful work to help change people's lives. But also we look toward the future. We care about the environment. You can make tremendous changes in protecting the environment for our children's future with the buildings we're building today. And that's why this project, you'll hear more about this, residents will live in energy-efficient buildings. It'll be healthier air quality, reduce carbon emissions, and lower energy bills because of how they're going to build this. They'll have access to high-speed broadband because living without high-speed broadband is like living without air these days. People need it to survive. It's how you find out if there's a job out there that you want to apply for, how you help your kids apply for college, or how you find out about a workforce development program. It's your connection to the rest of the world, and we have to have it readily available. It is like air. We're going to make sure everybody here can breathe that air. And also, making it healthier, as I mentioned, the healthcare facility here will be second to none. People won't have to get on a bus and travel far to good healthcare. They'll be able to get treated right here. And of course, all of you who've heard me speak know how impatient I am. My first question is, well, when's it done? When's it going to be done? And I sit there with all my project managers, whether it's bold projects for the MTA and the Port Authority or projects like these. I say, how we doing, team? We moving ahead? We've hit some benchmarks. Can you shave off a few more months? So I'm going to be on top of this one, okay? You're going to see me. You're going to hear from me. If you can shave off a few months, because I cannot overstate how big this project is, what it means to me personally, of what we're doing for our citizens, our residents, our family. Because this signifies the value of this community to the rest of the world. We know it here, but the rest of the world is overdue in recognizing the beauty of the people who live here in East New York. And again, we know what they've been through. They've had worse health outcomes coming out of the pandemic, and even before. I mean, the pandemic didn't cause this. It just put a spotlight on the scars and the scabs that were already there. We know how bad it was. They had higher rates of violence and crime. People had given up hope. We're going to give them an alternative now. And they did lack access to good quality health care. They had lack of access to employment, higher poverty levels. It's all real here. So we can fix this. You fix the soul, the rest of the body will heal. That's what we're working on here. So it's all about health and wellness and encouraging people to enjoy the outdoors and take a walk over to Shirley Chisholm Park. I was there when it was dedicated. That is gorgeous. I travel all over the state. You have to realize this is spectacular, like you're transported into another world just in this community. So this community is special. And I'm so excited that the era of changing everything, a new era for New York, starts right here in East New York. And I want to thank our Senator, Roxanne Prasad, for all she has done as well. And I want her to come up and give you her reflections on how together we're going to make New York work for everyone, starting here today. Senator Prasad.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Governor, for coming out to our area. And yes, our area is special. We all know that. And thank you for acknowledging that. To everyone here today, to Commissioner, you know, the other day we were at another ribbon cutting. Today's a groundbreaking. We were at a ribbon cutting, and I said, she's so often in Brooklyn. She needs to have an apartment here in Brooklyn. We will adopt her here in Brooklyn because she is committed to enhancing the lives of us Brooklynites. And Commissioner, I thank you and your team for everything that you are doing. I know the governor has the lead on this and her commitment, and you are following that. So we thank you. As the chair of social services in the New York State Senate, when I hear about wraparound services, when we're doing housing, I am so joyful because we need to do that. Too often we are placing people in homes. You know, they've never had the opportunity to turn their own key. And we're placing them in homes and then nothing. We walk away from them. And when we do that, we're setting them up for failure. Projects of this kind, we are no longer doing that. We are telling everyone, as you're moving in, we are here for you. We are here to support you in every way possible, because as we are supporting you, we are supporting our community. We are elevating our community. The people who were looking down on East New York just a few years ago can no longer do that. When they see what is occurring, the renaissance of East New York is real. When they see what's occurring in East New York, this will be the standard for other communities. As you drive around East New York, just look at what has happened over the past few years. Just look at it. Look at it. And now it's affordable housing, more affordable housing. And when we say affordable housing, we are talking affordable to the people who have stuck it out in East New York. That's what we're talking about. So today, it's a great day. When you say hope, remember it was said, the audacity of hope. Today is a great day for East New York as we continue to rise. So thank you, Governor. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will continue to work with you to ensure our community gets what it deserves. Thank you, everyone. And now, I will now call on the Brooklynite to be the commissioner to come up here. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Senator. Hi, everyone. I am delighted to be here at Alafia today. I'm delighted that the governor is here with us. There is no better advocate for affordable housing in this state than Governor Hochul. I don't think there's been a person in New York State in leadership who understands as much the impact that affordable housing and supportive housing has on individuals, on children, on families than our current governor. So I couldn't be more delighted to be here today and have her with us to celebrate. This project is going to be extremely transformational, as you heard, and it really is due to the coordination that starts with people like Senator Prasad. You have been such an incredible advocate also and partner for us. As I often say, it is not everywhere we go around the state that people have open arms for affordable housing, and Senator Prasad is at the top of that list of someone who really welcomes the conversation for every project that we do out here in Brooklyn, and I may have to look into getting an apartment, but I'll get back to you on that. Like many of our projects, this begins as a conversation, but unique here, this project is so large, and we had such a large development team sort of to handle what is such a complex site. So to Lee and his team at Apex, to Arlo and your team at Services for the Underserved, to Scott and your team at Riseboro, and to Spencer and the team at L&M, this was really a complex project, and we are lucky enough to get 4 partners like you. You really sort of hit it out of the park and make this so much better than it would be if we really were just working with one organization. So I thank you all for the complexity. I have seen the emails about the trash compactor and coordination with you. I get it. This is very complicated, this project. But out of that complication and complexity is going to come really an incredible asset for this neighborhood that will be here forever. I'm proud to say that this team also really worked on an enormous number of details, including homes designated as supportive housing for seniors, adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities, individuals and families who are struggling with homelessness and housing insecurity. This entire development, as the governor has said, is going to meet the highest standards for green design to address the environmental inequities that have long burdened central Brooklyn, especially those around health and around climate. So we are incredibly excited about that. This project really reflects our larger commitment and our larger investment across the state to high-quality healthcare and to high-quality affordable housing. We believe that Alafia and this project really could be a model. Now, we don't always have an enormous site like this everywhere we go, but really the achievement of the holistic and transformative change that we see here with this project is something we really see as a blueprint for other projects that we want to do across this state, where we'll have an inclusive public campus where you could attend an event or you could go shopping with friends. You'd be shopping at local stores. You'd be eating in local restaurants. It's our hope that all of this will really be woven into the fabric of this community, and this really gets at the heart of what we are trying to do at HCR across the state. Now, as you heard the governor said, our work is not done here. Our challenges around affordable housing are as big as they've ever been, but so is our commitment. We have been working ever since April 1st on implementing the governor's $25 billion 5-year housing plan, and we are incredibly excited about what lies ahead. The governor has given some hints at a strong housing proposal coming up in January, and so I hope everybody will join us in singing the chorus of the need and the efforts that we need to make to really address the housing supply issues in Brooklyn, in Buffalo, and everywhere in between. We need to be eliminating regulatory barriers to production. We need to really substantially increase the state's housing supply, and we need to do it in a way that is more equitable, better for our climate, and more affordable for everybody. So, as the governor said, nothing better than a groundbreaking except a ribbon cutting. So I can't wait to come back. 24 months, Lee? 20? 26? Something like that? Can't wait to come back and see it when it's done. Thank you, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lee Brathwaite. I'm the CEO of Apex, and thank you all for coming. I'm proud to be one of the development partners speaking to you today. It's been a little while since we got here. It took us a little over 4 years, 4.5 years, but since the time that we submitted our RFP, and here we are today on such a beautiful day. There are numerous people I'd like to thank, but I'll just name a few. It starts with great leadership at the state level, starting with the governor and her team, the governor's vision, but then her team of folks in ESD and HCR who were able to bring the RFP concept to fruition and help shepherd that through the process. You also had local business leaders and community leaders. Community leaders like Inez and Charles Barron, like Senator Prasad, and now Assemblymember Lucas. All these constituents emphasizing the need for an affordable project that includes a minority partner with significant contributions and involvement. That emphasis created the opportunity for my development partners to then come together and allow a company like Apex to be a part of it. The last group that I want to thank is the Community Board 5 leadership and the Community Board 5 residents and the neighborhood, because they not only are supportive of us, but they also are holding us accountable for the commitments we're making to you in developing and building this wonderful project. So it's been a true partnership at all levels, starting from the state all the way through the local community leaders, and we thank you all for that. So our concept was comprehensive and meaningful. 100% affordable housing of approximately 2,400 or more units, open spaces for residents and others to live, engage, and interact with in a healthy and safe environment, including retail and places to shop, of course, and urban farming to help provide healthy foods and alternatives for the community. All that on over 25 acres of land across the bay from the Shirley Chisholm Park. You couldn't have planned that better if you tried. So our concept was fantastic. The location was perfect, but we still needed a name. We needed a name that would resonate with the community. So we worked with Professor Dr. Maria De Longoria from Medgar Evers College, who helped us understand the history and evolution of the East New York community and what kinds of names would be appropriate for this community, especially when you compare that with our concept of creating healthy living, healthy environment, safe, peaceful environment for the community to live in. And she helped us identify Alafia as that name. So we thought it was a great name, but there was still one more step. We needed to review that with some important constituents, like the barons and leaders of the community board. So we took them through our presentation of how we developed the name, what the name means, and how we think that's comparable to the environment we're trying to create. And we knew we had a hit when some of the members of the people we were meeting with could actually start singing the name, the song Alafia. I didn't know it at the time until after we had really found out about the name, but it was a significant, important name that everybody started to resonate with. So we're very proud that we found a name that was also appropriate for our community. So our goal of having the right concept for the East New York community was now completely brought together with a name that's associated with this community. So this is a great opportunity for me personally, having been born and raised in Brooklyn and knowing what it's like to now see the evolution of a Brooklyn community like this is really a personal, very important to me, and really makes me proud that my partners and I are able to help bring this kind of project to the East New York community. So on behalf of our development partners, SUS, Riseboro, L&M, and Apex, I say to you, welcome to Alafia. Thank you very much. And now, I'd like to introduce Arlo.
Good morning. Is Brooklyn in the house?
Yes.
Wanted to say that my whole life, you know. My name is Arlo Chase, and I'm with Services for the Underserved. I bring greetings from our CEO, Dr. George Petit, who unfortunately was traveling and couldn't be with us today. There are two basic principles that motivate SUS and our mission. The first is that every New Yorker deserves a safe and affordable place to live. The second is that no matter how hard life seems and how down and out some of our neighbors may appear, with the right supports, right services, everyone can live a healthy and productive life, a life of purpose. And so these principles are what guide SUS as we provide permanent housing to more than 3,500 people every night and shelter to another 1,500. Because all of us in this room and at SUS, we know that it's a tragedy and a shame that more than 60,000 New York City residents sleep in shelters and thousands more have no shelter at all. And we're not going to stop until that is rectified. And I so welcome the governor and senator and commissioner's remarks, and I appreciate their commitment, and SUS is a partner. In addition to housing, SUS works tirelessly to support mental health, recovery, access to healthy food, employment, and wellness. Because as the governor said, New York only thrives when all New Yorkers thrive. And that's what we're trying to do. I want to give you a little history, and the governor mentioned it. SUS has actually a long history with this site, back to 2014, and when the Brooklyn Development Center was still here, still operational, but the state was facing a mandate from the federal government to close the site by the end of the year. And the state turned to SUS and a few other providers to move out the remaining people who are living here. And these were the folks who really needed a lot of support to live in different kinds, community-based housing. And in fact, a lot of the families of the people who are living here and their advocates said, you know, we really don't think these people can live in the community. But SUS knows, because we serve people with developmental disability. That's how we were started 40 years ago, to help people leave places like this and integrate them into the community. So SUS staff worked day and night through almost till the New Year's Eve 2014 to move people out of this site into community-based housing. It was not easy, but we got it done. And now I'm proud to say we have 4 new group homes throughout Brooklyn, in fact, some of them here in East New York, Queens, and the Bronx, to serve and to reside, to provide housing for those 30 people. So I'm extremely proud of that history of SUS, and I'm extremely proud of the next chapter, which we're celebrating here today. Because in the first phase, in addition to all the affordable housing, 88 of the units are going to be independent housing for people with developmental disabilities. And what a better fit than to bring some of those same folks who lived here in a state facility back into their own apartments. So we're just extremely proud. Obviously, this took many, many years, many partners. I'd like to specifically recognize a few people: Governor Hochul, Senator Prasad, State Assembly Member Nikki Lucas will be speaking next, Councilperson Charles Barron, Community Board 5, of course, Homes and Community Renewal, ESDC, which really led the charge on the site disposition and RFP. I don't know if we have Wells Fargo or Goldman Sachs in the, oh, hello. Hello, welcome, welcome. Those institutions provided tax credit equity and debt to start this project for the first 2 phases. So thank you. I have to recognize our design team. I don't know if anyone's here from Datner Architects. Hello, Datner. Hello, John. Scape Architecture. Of course, our general contractors, L&M Builders and Apex. I don't know if we have any of our council from Hershen Singer or Goldstein Hall. Hello, waving in the back. We're really grateful to all the partners. This does take a village even to get to this point. Most importantly, we're super excited to ultimately welcome the residents to the new Alafia. And now I'm honored to introduce our Assemblyperson, Nikki Lucas. I see, thank you for joining us in such a tricky state. If I could give you a hand, looks like you got it. Thank you.
You want to pop up? guess I need to have this happen to me more often, because that's the only way I'm getting some help up in this field. But good morning to everyone. Good morning, good morning. And forget where's Brooklyn at. Where's East New York? That's what I'm talking about. This is really an incredibly amazing project that has been in development before I got here. That's extremely inclusive of the community. I had an opportunity to meet with some of the developers coming in in February as the new assembly person. And one of the commitments that we made was to work together. We sat, we agreed to meet quarterly, and they kept their commitment. And that's the only thing that I really asked for. Beyond this ceremonial event, there's a couple of key things that's really important. We're putting this development within this community, but oftentimes our community does not take advantage of it, or we're left out of the process. So one of the commitments that we did talk about was making sure that our office serves as a bridge, a liaison in partnership with management, community-based organizations, the developers, the governor's team, just to assure that when we're going through that whole Housing Connect process, that we're making sure that people understand what that process looks like, that they're doing it appropriately, and that they have a fair opportunity at what other people have opportunities for. And it's important for me to make sure that I bring this issue today, because we have countless people coming into our office that didn't realize that they got a notice indicating that they were called for a job because they don't have access to internet. There are people that don't understand that they don't even have a computer. So they want to know where to pick a paper application up. Who do I call to follow up with these issues, because I've been on here for so long. Maybe they forgot to fill out their name or one part of the application, so they lost an opportunity. And we don't get those things back. So one of the key things in building these and developing these things is that we make sure that we give people a fair opportunity in the community that you're actually placing these things in. The second thing, workforce, economic development, because when you talk about empowering a community, that's what it looks like. East New York has been #1 when it comes to homelessness. East New York has been deprived in many areas of education, technology, and we must make sure that we build capacity in a way in which they have opportunities to get employment, so that they can take care of themselves, so that these things that you're building out here, they can actually afford to live in. So one of the things that we also talked about, and there were commitments made, in terms of prevailing wage jobs, livable wages, making sure that workforce development is available for the people that actually live in the community, make sure they have real access to knowing that these things are available, making sure that we're not just giving crumbs in entry-level jobs, that we're training and skilled, and we're giving contractors, minority contractors, opportunities as well. And these are the things that my office, my team, this community is looking for, and we're prepared not to shun people away, but to build real friendships, build real partnerships, so that we can continue to develop in this community in a great way and really hearing what the people are saying. So I know I only have 3 minutes, and I took about one of them getting up here. But I just want to leave with this, and this is a real question. It is not rhetorical. To the developers, to the governor, do we have your commitment within this community to make sure that we are putting the resources to make sure people have a real opportunity at the application process, the workforce process, the business ownership opportunity process, the community-based organizations process, without it being political, and the contracting process. Real things for real people within this community if you truly want to see a change. Do we have your commitment to do that in partnership with this community? Thank you. I love y'all.